Yeah, welcome to Log TV. Today, I want to be taking us through the process of creating our CV from the scratch, the process of building an entry-level CV. There are usually a lot of challenges building a CV for entry-level roles because of the fact that you don't have a lot of experience and you don't even have clarity on how to put it together. So this video is going to provide you a practical roadmap on how to do this. Thank you for visiting Log TV channel. Kindly watch this video to the end, like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the notification on so that when we upload more amazing videos like this, you can see them in real time. So in this session, I'm going to be working with two documents. So I'm going to be working with the entry level, with the CV writing workbook and a template. So this workbook, you can find the link to download both documents in the description of this video. This workbook is like a questionnaire. So it has all the questions. Once you're able to fill this form comprehensively, it will make it easy for you to be able to create a CV. It will make it easy for you to write your entry-level CV. So the information you need to input into it are the following. You can see basic information, education, experience, affiliation, digital skills, job preference, skills and overall personality. So these are things. So if you're able to enter all this information, you're able to fill this workbook comprehensively to be easy for you by the time you are writing your CV. The second document is the CV template that we are going to be using. So this is the template that we are going to be putting the CV on. So the strength of a CV, like how far your CV will go, also depend on the template in which the CV is made. So these are the two things. All you have to do is to pause this video at this point and go back and fill this form. Download this form and fill it. So once you are done filling it, come back to this video so that you can see how we are going to build a competitive CV from this information.
Log TV Africa, your personal development channel.
You're welcome back to this video. Now that you have filled the workbook, we can now walk through the CV. So this is the filled form I'm going to be working with. As you can see, all the details has been entered fully. So let's now go into the template and start implementing it one step at a time. So the first thing we are going to put there is the name of the person. So this person's name. One mistake a lot of job applicants make is by not having in school, most of the time, the way we write our name is our surname first. But when it comes to the workplace, the best way and the ideal way to write your name is to have your first name first. So it has to be your first name first. In some cases, you might decide to distinguish your first name from surname with a comma or by capitalizing your surname. You can use it to distinguish between the first name and the surname. So after doing this, we are going to fill this contact information as well. So let's go and copy all the things he has entered in the form. So he's in Lagos, Nigeria, phone number and email. Let's paste it here and use a divider so that everything will be on the same line. There are things you need to note about this contact information. When it comes to his address, he just said Lagos, Nigeria, though I believe it's not detailed enough. So instead of just Lagos, Nigeria, sometimes people include their full address, like number 4, Co Street, or wherever street they are living in, by putting their street address and all that. So, but for privacy reason, we are trying to discourage people from putting in their full address, because for recruitment purpose, your full address is not essential. So all the recruiter need to know is the specific area, the specific province, the specific
area in which you're residing. So it is better to just mention the city, the state, and sometimes if you are positioning for an international role, include your country. So this person has not done well enough. So let's assume, so let's have the name of the city where the person is in Lagos. So let's say Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. So that makes it more directive. And the contact information, as you can see, some people put 2 phone numbers. It's actually not necessary to include 2 phone numbers on your CV. 1 phone number is enough. And another thing is the email address. A lot of people make a mistake by including an email address that is not professional. What makes a professional email address is the fact that that email address reflects your name. And as you can see, this email address is just the combination of his first name and surname, which is the perfect thing to do. So we are done with this header session. We've had the name and the contact information. So the other session we will go and fill is the education, because we are going to start from the simple part and end it with the most complex part, so that it will be easy for us to work it through with me. So let's go on his workbook and check the education. So he attended University of Lagos from 2021-2025 and studied BSc Economics. So let's copy this BSc Economics. We are going to be pasting that here. So you can decide to put BSc Economics, or you might write it in full, Bachelor of Science, Economics. So either way is good. So let's put University of Lagos. Lagos, okay, Akoka, Lagos. So it is always good to put the address as well. So let's now say this is the date in which he attended the school, from when he started and when he graduated from the school. So his CGPA is 2.88. We are still going to coming back. Watch this video to the end so that you can pick the points from it. So for an entry-level CV, if you had some activities in school, we can add it. But because this particular person, let's go and check the workbook first to see the type of experience he asked. So the first experience is economy student association, like a student association school. This is a school-based experience. The second one is also a campus fellowship. So, and the third one is with AXY Finance Limited. This is like an internship. So because of this, I prefer not to add any activity here and leave everything to the experience session, because it did not have an actual work experience. So let's take this activity off. So the class of degree here is second class lower. So slash divider, this is the, so this is going to be class of degree, GPA. So award, is there, let's check if there's any award. There's no any award on the workbook. So let's go to and output relevant coursework. The inclusion of relevant coursework for an entry-level role is because of the fact that as an entry-level person, you don't have a lot of experience, but sometimes you have a type of role you are interested in. One of the ways you can use to convince your employer is to show that you have taken some coursework in school that are able to position you for the job. So let's go and see the type of job this person is looking for in the workbook. So job preference, data analysis, finance-related role, and graduate training, and he graduated in economics. So we are going to include some economics coursework that are relevant to data analysis, finance, and all that. So one of it is econometrics, financial analysis, statistical analysis. All these things are just tentative. So they are just trying to come up with things that are related to what you may have done in school, macroeconomics and business mathematics. So let's assume these are the relevant coursework. So the essence of this is to have the keywords that are relevant to the target role on your CV. So that is why we have included it. So we are done with the educational section now. The question I've been getting a lot of time is, why didn't we include primary and secondary school education? The point about this is the fact that both your primary and secondary school are prerequisites to a tertiary qualification. So if it is practically impossible for you to have a university degree without having primary and secondary. So, and for a lot of recruiters, they are not interested in the type of primary or secondary education you have. But for some graduate trainee that might be interested in you having some number of credits in your own level in one sitting, you might include your secondary school, just secondary school. So, but if you're interested, if you are writing, you are interested, you are targeting the government role, like you're applying to a job in one ministry or someone wants to help you to get a government job, you might have to include the whole of your education. So, but for a corporate role, you don't need to talk about your primary or secondary school. So the university education is the most important part. So we are done with the educational session. However, if you had other education that are not prerequisite to your degree, maybe you've had a national diploma, you've had an NC, those things that are, even if you don't have them, it doesn't stop you from going to university, you might include it. Like, let's say you have a national diploma or an higher national diploma, before going for a BS, you can include, because they are not complementary to your university education. So that is the standard practice there. So the next thing we are going to go into is the experience session. And this is where you need to pay close attention. So let's go and copy his experience session he had on the form and paste it under the experience session here. So the first experience is Economy Student Association. That is the name of the organization. When it comes to work experience on your CV for entry-level roles, a lot of graduates find it difficult knowing what to put here, because they believe that I'm just graduating from school, I don't have any experience. What will I put on my experience session on my CV? There are several things you can put. The first thing is, if you have had an internship experience doing your coursework, maybe you had a summer internship while you are studying, you can put it. It can stand as an experience for you. Recruiters know you are going to be applying for entry-level roles, and they know that you are just graduating. So they are not going to be so much interested in the type of experience you've had, but they want to know that you've tried. They want to see they want to see that you've had a feel of how work life looks like. Because if you have not had a feel of how work life look like, it might be difficult for you to cope. You have a history of taking responsibilities, and that is why work experience is very important, even though it is an entry-level CV. So where do you get the experience from? The first is, if you have attended any internship as part of your course, maybe you've had 1, 2, 3 months summer internship, is something you can add. That is the first way. The second way is if you have held any voluntary position in group, maybe you serve at the student association or anything, or community, or within your religious association, or any association, you hold any position that comes with active responsibility, you can add it as your work experience. That is the second way your work experience can come from. The third way is through the national service scheme. So if you have attended NYC or any other voluntary service, or you've served in the military, you can put it as your work experience. So, because these things come with certain responsibilities. So, and that is why, if you are watching this video and you are currently in school, try as much as possible, while you are facing your studying, trying to have the best results you can, take time to engage in activities, in extracurricular activities that could add up as an experience, that will help you to have other experience outside of what you are learning inside the classroom. So those are the 3 places your experience can come from. And it can also, if there's any family, maybe during your summer break, there's any family business that you are always supporting, you can usually position it as an experience. And even if you have a side business that you are doing, maybe you are selling one thing online or that, there's a way you can tailor it to serve as an experience on your CV, because it's something that has add value to you outside of what you have learned within the classroom. So let's go into what this guy had on his onboarding form in his workbook. So basically, he has 3 experience there. The first one is a school-based activity. The second one is also a school-based. The third one is an internship. And as you can see, so in this case, he did not have a lot of concrete work experience, but he had voluntary experience. So we are going to be using that as his work experience, and we are going to be taking this voluntary experience out of his CV because he did not have work experience. So we are going to be using the voluntary experience. So we are going to take this out of it and now go and bring this experience. So the Economic Student Association, that is going to serve as the company's name, city. So we are going to mention the place he served. So that is the University of Lagos. So he served as the financial secretary. So financial secretary is from what date to what date? February 2022 to December 2022. And what was he doing? Nothing went missing. Everything was properly accounted for. So let's just copy this and paste it here. So let's move to the second row and copy everything first before working on them. So for the fellowship, he served as the welfare director, and the name of the organization, the company's name is Redeem Campus Fellowship at the same University of Lagos. So let's copy the University of Lagos from here. From what date to what date? February 2024 to January 2025. So what was his achievement? Organized tutorial retention assistant struggling students. So this is everything he did. So because he had 3 experience, so we have to duplicate one of it for the third one. And so we have to remember AXY Financial Limited, Lagos. And his position is an intern. From what date to what date? April 2023 to July 2023. April 2023 to July 2023. So what was his duty? Managing, file, distributing. Let's just copy it and paste it. The first thing we have to check here is the date in which he held those positions. This was February 2022. This was 2024, 2025. This was 2023. So we have to arrange it to ensure that he started. The most recent position is the one that appears first. So this is the most recent position, and it has to be at the top so that it appears first. And the second most recent position is the internship position. It's going to appear as the second one, and the last one is going to be the last one is going to be the so the last one is going to be the financial secretary position. So these are the 3 positions in order at which he held them. So how do we, for a graduate CV, at least you should have at least 2 to 3 bullet points. And the strategy of organizing these bullet points is that it has to reflect your achievements. It has to reflect tasks and achievement. So you have to show the result you achieve and the tasks you were doing that make you where you achieve that result. So let's go into it. So this is what he wrote: organize tutorial and welcome orientation for new students. So let's break it into one. He organized tutorials, he organized welcome orientation for students, and assisted struggling students. So we had 3 bullet points already. Let's delete all these other placeholders. So now that he has 3 experience, what we are going to think about is the fact that how can we recreate this to show effort and accomplishment? Normally, a lot of people like to use AI for this, but I'm showing us the way we can do it without using AI, so that even if we have to use AI, it will make it, we will be able to be an ethical AI user. So we'll be able to know when AI give us what exactly should be there. So if you just put this thing on AI might not give you the exact. So, but once you know that for your bullet point has to show things, 2 things. It has to show the task and it has to show the accomplishment. So let's now find a way to organize it. The first one, organize tutorial. What could be the purpose of organizing tutorial? The goal of organizing tutorial as a welfare director that it is to help students, to help struggling students, to help students, to improve student academic performance. And that is where that is going to form our accomplishment. So then let's go this way. Improved students academic performance. If you can quote a metric, but if you are not sure, if there is no any statistic to back it up, it's better you don't say you don't include metric. So instead of, so if at the end of the day you can prove that, okay, through that tutorial, it helps 70% of students to pass, and it's something that there is a statistic for, you can say improve student academic performance by 70%. But since you are not sure, or if you are not sure, just leave it and say improve academic performance by student academic performance by organizing tutorials for new and old students. So as you can see, this is a good bullet point for an entry-level CV. So, and it has showed the fact that you achieve, this is the result that we achieved, improve academic performance, and this is what you do, organizing tutorial for new and old students. So, and the second one is also an organizing thing, which is welcome orientation for new students. What will a welcome orientation do for new students? It will help them to adapt to the university, and as a fellowship, organizing training for organizing welcome orientation for students, it will also help them to attract more members. So let's now put it. Increased attracted, let's say attracted. So you can include an approximate number based on the population of the fellowship, like attracted over 300 new students to the fellowship through freshers or new student orientation, through freshers orientation, and awareness creation. So you can include other things to add more credence to it. So, and the third point we have here is assisted struggling students. So how can he assist struggling students? What do we achieve by assisting struggling students? It increases the fail rate, and so we can usually put that in one way to say assisted struggling students in improving their academic performance and in increasing their academic performance. So we are done with this. So the second position we have is the intern. And this is an opportunity for us to tailor this CV based on what he's looking at. So according to the workbook, his job preference is finance-related roles. And this is an opportunity, data analysis, gathering training. This is an opportunity for us to do that. So intern, instead of just saying intern, we can just say, since he's interested in data analysis and financial analysis, finance-related role, let's say finance intern. So it's actually a financial organization, and what he claimed to be doing was organizing and managing file distributing. So this is not, for this position, what we are going to do is to see what a typical finance intern does currently. So, and how do we do that? Let's go to Google. So on Google, let's search for finance intern. So finance intern job near me. So that will help us to see finance intern job that are currently open. So sometimes a lot of people, some people might prefer to use AI for this, but I like to work with real role, like job positions that are currently being advertised. So that helps me to ensure that I am working with something that is currently trending. So currently, this is an organization that is accepting application for a finance analyst intern. So this is a finance analyst intern. So let's check what this finance analyst intern will be doing: researching econometrics and preparing accounting and other requirement report and projection based on. So this is more of a specialist role. Let's check his skill set. So check your skill set to see, will he able to be, okay, he knows SPSS and Microsoft Office suite, but we are not sure he will be able to, is able to perform all these functions. So let's check for finance accounting intern. And what intern does is assisting in preparation of financial statement, analyzing financial data, providing support. So this could be, so let's get this. Let's create another document and copy it. So we are trying to aggregate what a finance intern does currently in organization currently. So this is another finance intern position. Maintain and balance subsidiary accounts, verifying. So this is verifying, allocating, posting, and reconciling transaction. So this is something that is basic. And let's still go and see if there's any other basic. Providing general accounting support, assist in financial modeling, review and ensure daily and month-end posting. All these things are basic accounting responsibilities. Remember, we are only interested in 3 bullet points or thereabouts. So let's check this finance intern at British Council as our last job post we'll be checking. Support AR and AR accountants, support accountants, support in filing relevant taxes, prepare financial document, and ensure timely. So now we have had, so let's now rework this thing to fit into what this young man will be able to do. Prepared financial statement. So let's first start with it. Support accountants. That is one of those things that is central for you as an intern. You are going to be supporting professionals within that firm. Supported accountants in preparing financial statement, analyzing. So we cannot say in utilizing accounting software. So let's take that away. And filing monthly tax return with, preparing documents and journal entry, preparing accurate financial document and journal entry, analyzing financial data, and filing tax reports with relevant authorities. So these are basic things that an intern can be able to, should be able to support an accountant on. So let's place it here. We have to reflect on what he mentioned that he's doing, that organizing and managing file is something that we have to reflect. So we still have to do that too. So by organizing and managing file, what will he be able to do? So this is another, we have already mentioned general accounting support, and we have mentioned this, we have mentioned all this. Maintain assisted. So it has to show that you don't have any direct responsibility as an intern. So we have to use words like assist, support, contributed. So all those things are things that shows subordinate role, like supplementary role. Assisted in balancing. So this, we are not going to use subsidiary because this might not be a subsidiary. And day-to-day daily accounts by verifying credit posting and reconciling transactions. So let's put this as the second bullet point. So we can take away all these placeholders and work with this. So by organizing and managing file, okay, let's say organizing, distributing, and managing file, what does it do? It improves communication, it improves administrative efficiency. So contributed to improved administrative efficiency by organizing, distributing, and managing files and documents. So, and then we had our 3 bullet points. The third one is a financial secretary position. He also held in an association in school, and he said nothing went missing. Everything was properly accounted for. So that is, it shows accountability and practice financial management. So let's take the bullet point as ensure accurate financial management and reporting through meticulous attention to details. So we pay attention to details, and that is why he was able to manage the finance accurately. So, and then we are going to conceive of the fact that this is a student association. So, and he's going to work with other executives. So another thing is, when you are building your CV, you need to be able to build a scenario of of everything, like painting a picture. So it is about telling stories. So one of those things you are likely to have done, that you must have done, is to be the one accounting for projects. So for student projects, you are going to be the one accounting for them. And this is a way to go about it, to say, so think of a project you have done as a member of this association, like student orientation, student picnic, and all those programs students do in school. So, and find a way to say something around them as the financial secretary. So we can have it this way, like actively supported Student-centered widgets by creating budgets. That is one of those things you should be able to do in this position. Creating budgets and reports and financial reports of events. Financial reports of events. So you can also talk about fundraising. Collaborated with, because you are not going to be working alone, other executive members to raise funds for programs and annual programs and projects. So we have 3 bullet points here already. So we are done with the experience session now. So what we have next is the skill session. So let's now go back to the top and talk about the job title. So how do you put, it is usually recommended that on your CV, even as an entry-level person, always have at least 1 or 2 job titles at the top. The essence of this job, the essence of including a job title on your CV, the first reason why you should do this is to help your CV rank well in ATS. So let's assume he is interested in a finance intern and data analyst role. Let's now say finance intern and data analysis. So if with this, he applied for one of the the major reason for including this, there are 2 major reasons for including this job title at the header of your CV. The first reason is for the ATS. So for the ATS work with the job title of that particular job you're applying for. And for every job you're applying for, always try as much as possible to have the job title at this your header section, at this part of your CV. The second reason is for a recruiter. So immediately the recruiter sees your CV and sees a finance intern, you already have an idea of the type of position you are interested in. So it shows direction. It shows that you have a direction. That is why you should always include a pointer to the type of role you are interested in at the top of your CV. And for this guy, he's interested in entry-level finance role and data analysis role. So let's say because he's not a data analyst. So let's say data analysis enthusiast. So this shows this is something he likes to do. And finance interns already shows that this is a rookie in finance. So we have sorted this. Let's now go to the skill session. I will quickly make an adjustment on this. Okay, it's okay. So let's now go to the skill session. What form the skill? What form the skill is basically what you put in your skill session is basically a reflection of your experience, a reflection of your education, a reflection of the type of position you are hunting for. So from his experience, what are the skills that are evident? So from this role shows project management skill course, you organize tutorials, you organize freshers orientation. So let's list it. Project management and organizational skill. Organizational skill first. The second one. So another thing that come is administrative assistance. Through his position as an intern, administrative assistance. Finance. Let's go back to that. So preparing financial document preparation, financial document preparation, financial analysis, since he knows Excel and SPSS, so you can, so, and then the third role is about being a finance person as well. Financial reporting, and fundraising, and also the same project management shows as well. Fundraising. So let's leave. So these are the skills that are already reflective based on his experience. So let's now go to the type of, let's go to his CV and see his, let's go to his workbook and see the skill he claimed to possess there. So these are, so let's go to this session. He said he possesses leadership skill. So let's highlight it, leadership skills. Of course, this is evident in his history as well. Learning, he enjoys learning. So let's include it, enjoys learning. This is, learning is something that is very important for entry-level professional, because teamwork, so teamwork and zest, that is energy. So these are, so now let's now go back to the type of position he's interested in. The position is interested in data analysis, finance related, and graduate training. So what are the basic skills that come with, that are required for the entry level in this position? One of it is data entry. So let's now go back to those job descriptions we have said before and see the skills that they want to see. So this is to ensure that whatever we are doing is aligning with the reality. So they need this person to, for a finance intern, they need basic understanding of MS Word and Excel, interpersonal skill and communication ability to handle sensitive financial information. You can see a willingness to learn, detail-oriented analytical skills. So let's pick these analytical skills first. So let's check one or two other finance intern job and see the skills that they require. Experience as a financial accountant, okay. Knowledge of Excel and accounting software, ICANN, in-depth understanding of bookkeeping procedure, knowledge of accounting regulation, excellent mathematical skills with an attention to details. So let's remove this placeholder and duplicate this skill. So there are two ways to have it. You can align it on a row and use a divider to separate it, or you can use a table. But I prefer to use a divider because tables are not generally ATS compliant, though it doesn't. Teamwork, data entry, and let me copy this fundraising here so that I can have everything in 2 lines. We are done with the skill session now. And remember where your skill come from. Some of your skill come from the educational history, your education. So, and from the education, what skills can we include? Financial analysis is already here. So from your experience, your education comes from your. So let's now go into the summary. So your summary generally is a summary of your experience, skill set, and aspiration. but you don't start it without a description of who you are. So, and that is an entry level accounting. There are several things you can call yourself. You can say you are a finance enthusiast. Economics graduate, aspiring data analyst. So it depends on what you choose to call yourself. So for the essence of this, I've already had finance data analyst. So let me say, so I'm going to be using economics graduate. So a description, so let me use analytical. Analytical economics graduates with summary of experience. Strong foundation in supporting finance professionals through financial data entry, account reconciliation, and what other things were you able to do with your relevant experience? Daily accounts posting, daily accounts posting and verification, and daily account posting and verification. Skills. So the next thing is skills. Highly skilled. You can use highly skilled in adept at, accustomed to, proficient in. So, but the second paragraph, what you do there is to give an highlight of your skill set. So highly skilled in organizing and managing projects. So that is one of those things that are very conspicuous within your experience. Creating budgets and generating financial reports to ensure efficient financial operation. So, and then your aspiration, what are you interested in is your aspiration, and that is going to be what you are going to have in the third paragraph. So, and your aspiration is to be, so you can put it in such a way that interested in working as a, so but for this purpose, I'll say post to leverage strong background in economics, experience in financial organization, and strong mathematical skill. Remember, it's one of the requirement skills to support organization in financial analysis in finance, data analysis roles. In entry level finance or data analysis roles. So this is the summary of your CV. Now, professional strengths. What is the essence of the professional? There are basically 2 to 3 reasons why you should have a professional strength on your CV. The first reason is the fact that it helps you to include the keyword from the job description you are targeting. The second thing is it helps to give a quick snapshot of the entirety of your CV in a bullet form. And the third thing is to include keywords that you don't have anywhere else to include on your CV. So to create a place to include other things that your CV wouldn't have included. So there's some things you don't know where to include them on your CV, and this is one of the essence of the professional strength section. So, and what is the formula for writing your professional strength? In my own, I use a formula for writing this. The first one is a summary of experience, or let me say, the first one is relevant experience. The second one is technical computer skill sets, and the third one is soft skill. So by including this helped me to create balance on my CV, and this is how I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be copying from the job description exactly for this in order to show us the strategic importance of this session. So take, for instance, this role is saying experience as a financial accountant to similar role be considered as an advantage. So we are not going to be saying experience in a reputable finance organization working with financial accountants and acquiring the skills and competencies to thrive as a finance professional. Though you didn't have that relevant experience that they want, but though you didn't have exact experience, you don't have the experience as an accountant because you are an entry-level person, but you have experience supporting accountants. So this is a way to pitch them to them. And for every role, for most of the roles, they are going to require you to know one. These people are talking about knowledge of MS Excel. So let's copy it and say computer skill sets. Knowledge of. So let's go back to the mention some digital skill units. SPSS, Microsoft Office, those are and Google. So let's say that is Google Workplace. Knowledge of Microsoft Excel, SPSS. Let's leave it as another accounting software. So soft skill, let's see, excellent mathematical skills, time management. So that is an opportunity to include Excellence, communication, teamwork, collaborative, time management, and analytical skills. And that is it. So with this professional strength, you are able to capture a lot of things that you don't know where to place them in your CV, but are part of the job opening. So, and this is where we have landed. This is the CV, and as you can see, it's just one page. For an entry-level CV, for a young graduate without up to 3 years experience, it is very advisable that you keep your CV at one page, no matter what. Ensure that your CV does not exceed a single page. And that is what we have done here. Let's go back to the education and check something. This education, the thing about CV is that the CV should include things that will sell you and not things that are your that are going to cause, that are likely to harm you. And like this class of degree, you have a second class lower, which is not competitive. A lot of people have it. So, and your CGPA or GPA is not something that is good. ADP is something that is very outstanding. We can add it. So this line, we are going to remove it. So it's not going to add any value. So, and that is it. Now you are going to check your CV and see, is there anything, any information on this CV that will not help you? Whatever you think that is going to be a disadvantage, you remove it. So the only thing you need to show on your CV are things that are going to be of advantage to you. So you have to read it from the summary to the skill to dedication to the work experience to ensure that everything there are something that are going to position, that are going to help you, that are going to support your case, and not those things that are likely to harm you. And that is everything you have to do. And remember, and on a final note, no CV is ever competitive for all roles. There is no one size fits all CV. So for every position, you have to be able to tailor your CV to match it. So no CV is capable of being qualified for every role. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope it helps.